Oh no! Can you take that? Can you take that?
The power exchange.
The power exchange.
All right. Hello, good people. I am Sed and Empress,
I'm your boy Sed.
and we are the host of the Power
Power
Exchange.
exchange.
Yes.
Let's go.
It's our first official episode, so we're so happy to spend time with everybody today, allow y'all to get to know us, and we're kind of going to do like a Q&A thing where we pose some questions, answer them, tell you what the show is going to be about, and just kind of like get into it a little bit.
The first question is, how did we meet? So, Brown Middle School, right?
Yeah, yes. Yes. Wow. You know what? I think that we didn't get close until high school though.
Yep. I don't even think we spoke in middle school.
I'm gonna be 100. You knew I went to Brown. I didn't know you went to Brown.
Yeah.
I was so shy. I was so shy into myself, and dealing with middle school stuff, I didn't pay attention. So that's dope. We are like alumni.
That's crazy, right? That's crazy. High school was when we actually interacted.
Yeah.
Music scene.
Mm-hmm.
Nerd scene.
Yes, anime, video games. The guy I was dating at the time, y'all were real cool. Y'all always hung out, so I was always over there. But it was still like a distance because those were your friends. I was just kind of like meeting you. So what really happened, like how we got close, will lead into the next question, which is like, where were we when the idea for the podcast emerged? So I'm from Atlanta, but I live in Cali now, and I flew out to Atlanta for Christmas break. And, I wanted to get up with everybody who I used to hang out with, our Blurs, Black Nerd Clique, right? We met up, and I didn't know that Sed was going to be there. And I was like, oh, bro, hey, right? And
right. It was completely random. I was not supposed to be there. I actually happened to text our mutual friend, and I was just like, what you doing? I'm bored. Yep. And he told me you were here, and I was like, oh, well, I'm on the way.
Because we've like done freestyles and rap together a little bit. But we hadn't like collaborated in a while. So we were out for drinks or whatever. And Sed starts talking. I'm like, bruh, you need to be on a podcast. Like, people need to hear what you got to say. He was like, you ain't saying nothing but a word. I'm ready to go. I'm like, okay. And he was like, okay. And
and here we are. And I was just like, okay, well, maybe I need to make some steps to do this. And I'm gonna be honest, if it wasn't for your communication and your support, we wouldn't be here. You know what I'm saying? Because I would have, oh yeah, you already know it. I would have just been, oh man, I wanna for years. So yeah, I really appreciate that.
That's the energies coming together, like minds. Like I don't like when people say they're gonna do stuff and then it's like you don't make plans, you don't put dates down. So are you really working toward it? And when I was like, okay, like here's the first date, you're like done. And it was easy to work with you and collaborate with you the whole way through. So I'm glad that we have opportunity.
Tell me your sign though.
Cancer. Oh, that's dope. That's dope.
It's cancer business right here. We care. You know what I'm saying? We're empathetic. We care about our people. So it's something that couldn't be helped, honestly. You know what I'm saying? This just couldn't be helped. And so y'all knowing that, as much as people talk about cancers, y'all know that we're going to be really like emotional about the stuff we're saying. It's something we're passionate about. You know what I'm saying? It's real because cancers, we're very honest and we'll, you know what I'm saying? I shed a tear, just trying to express something that matters. You know what I'm saying? What's the thinking behind the name? All right,
That one, I'm gonna let you take that one.
All right, I'm trying my best to look at my camera. So the thinking behind the name is we were trying to think of a name that was, of course, powerful, that meant something, that stands for something, and at the same time, we care about all people. Don't get me wrong, but we're clearly African American. We're from African American backgrounds in the African American community, so we can speak more directly toward that environment those type of influences than any other. But the show is about expressing how we feel about things and getting other people's thoughts and feelings about the environment and the community. But we're not going to always agree. So everything that you say means something. Words are power. So it's the power exchange, the exchange of power, and at the same time, respect. No matter what my Empress says, we're gonna respect her words, and she's gonna respect me, and we're gonna respect any guest that we have on the show, because we respect everybody. Everybody deserves to get their point of view heard and understood. Mm-hmm. And maybe if we start to understand people more, we'll stop a lot of the hate and a lot of the prejudice in the world, if we could just probably understand where somebody's coming from and why they think and feel the way that they do. A lot of times we shut people down before they even get to express a real thought, and that's why we don't never get to understand them. So
yeah, absolutely. Well said. I'll just add in there that, like, sometimes we're on social media. I can speak for myself, but I feel like Sed sees the same thing. We'll be on social media and you see these posts and it's like, whoa, whatever, like, you have been fed some misinformation. Somebody has taught you incorrectly. And if you just had the opportunity to, like, have a conversation with people who have learned and have been through this and who know better, then maybe you wouldn't be saying these ignorant things and spreading this misinformation. So another part of, to add on to what Sed said, we're exchanging information to combat misinformation, and a lot of misinformation we see, you know, sometimes within our community. I know all communities have things that they are dealing with, but again, because of who we are, we're more expertise on the African American community.
And especially in our community, it's kind of common to make fun of ignorance. But ignorance just means that you don't know. It doesn't mean you're stupid. It doesn't mean that you lack intelligence. So we want to get back to teaching each other and helping each other to learn, and not exploiting weaknesses. And
that's a real community thing. That's what a real one to do. It's like, I'm not gonna let you go out here just thinking that this is how it is. It's not. And the best way
but I'm gonna help you. I'm not gonna put you down. That's right. Because you're my brother, you're my sister. See, what can viewers and listeners expect? What's the word on it? Transparency. If I don't know something, I'm gonna do the research. I said ignorance is never the problem. It's the lack of a willingness to learn or a willingness to understand. That's the problem. So let's go. We can snap 100%.
On it. Yeah. No, that was good. That was good.
We can snap on that. Yeah. But definitely transparency, because I mean, there's some things that we are avoiding as a people that need to be discussed. So.
Like, I've listened to a lot of podcasts. I've seen, you know, there are the very research news-based ones. There are some that are more comedic, and I feel like we go with the flow. Like, there's an issue that comes up, we're going to talk about it. We're going to say our opinion about it. Sometimes it's going to be like, you know, we might have some research. Sometimes it's just going to be what we learn from life experiences. It's just going to be real. So it'll be authentic. You can expect authenticity, realness, and guests. You can expect guests.
I didn't. When you started talking, I thought about that. I was like, oh, I didn't mention that. What we're going to do is, we're going to have people from different walks of life and different educational backgrounds and things of that nature speak on some of these topics and give their ideas and feedback of the world. And it's going to be strange when people start to realize there's a lot of people that feel the same way about a lot of things, but there hasn't been a change.
That goes into our next question. What issues within the African American community will we address, and why? It's so many things, right?
Yeah.
So many things. We talked about, like, we do a lot of brainstorming. We're trying to do our best to make this an awesome and amazing space to exchange information. We talked about the education system. We talked about bullying, racism, discrimination. I don't think we touched on religion, and I think that's going to be a deep one, but I want to talk about that, like, hard body, just some of the things within our community that deal with religion, but we'll get there slowly but surely. pop culture, like some stuff within like pop culture, like you can expect us to go with the flow, is because we have been like planning and thinking so deep on these episodes. I'm like, well, let's just talk. Like we already have the knowledge in our head. Let's just talk about it. And then, the follow-up can be like, okay, people email us or post, responses, or they heard this and they want to talk more about it. And then we can, yeah. So we're going to start rolling these out because the information is already in our brains. So I was over.
And that's another thing that I'm glad you said, that we're gonna definitely be allowing people to give their feedback in the comments. Just be respectful. No matter what you say, I would never disrespect you. I would respect your opinion. I'll try to find the meaning within whatever you say. At the same time, we're looking for people to say, "Hey, can you guys talk about this or touch on that?" We're willing to look into that as well, because everybody, like I said, everybody's thoughts and feelings are respected. So we'll be doing polls, to see how people feel about certain things, and definitely we'll be doing some stuff live, so we can have some people to chime in and we can have discussions and stuff like that. So
our last question for this first introductory episode is, what issues are currently on our hearts and minds? For me, like a really big issue, like Roe versus Wade being overturned.
Yes.
What
is
happening in our country right now? So that's a big one. Again, I'm doing like you. I'm trying not to go into it.
I feel you, because y'all, we got stuff that we already have, set up, like we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. But then we have stuff that's just happening, like the gun law, the Roe versus Wade, and it's like, okay, I want to talk about this right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, another thing that's big on my mind and my heart right now is media. We talked about this, and we already kind of got notes for this episode. We're gonna talk about the media, Black representation, how we appear and how we speak, the perception and focus that swayed and creating bias. That's something that we're gonna talk about with media. But what my partner just said here is extremely important. We definitely got to talk into this Roe versus Wade stuff. I want people to see the gravity of something like this. And it's just crazy to have this new president just saying, this is what's happening. This is who is going to affect. I'm sorry. He's powerless, basically. He's basically telling us like there was nothing he could do. So I just want you guys to get the gravity of the situation and what it means.
Yeah, it's a big conversation. I want to talk about the attack on women that has been happening since the beginning of time. The attack on women that has been happening since the beginning of time, the patriarchy, toxic masculinity, and how the patriarchy also affects women, and how sometimes women we embody those patriarchal thoughts because we're submerged into it, the same way that white supremacy like touches everybody. That'll be a deep conversation, but anyway, so that's on the heart. Gun violence is on my heart and mind. Being a school teacher right now, I've been a school teacher for, it's about to be 10 years come August. Decade in the game, and I love what I do, y'all. And we could do a whole series just talking about what is happening in the schools right now, because I don't think people have any real idea, especially if you work in schools where you serve underserved students and marginalized groups, and like what they have to deal with because of the system. Whole nother conversation, whole nother topic. But the gun violence and violence in general is another thing that's dear to my heart that I would love to get into.
So as y'all can see, we're passionate. We almost lost it with a couple of these topics already, but we got some things to say. We're looking for feedback. We're looking for anybody that wants to shed light on something as well. And we're looking for people that want to listen and learn and understand. So
we're in the process of, uploading episodes. So just stay tuned. Look out for us to post some things on Facebook. We'll be creating a page specifically for our podcast, because right now we just have our own like separate personal social media profiles. But we will be posting that and getting that together. So just be on the lookout.
Thank y'all.
All right, later.
The power exchange.